Hello, hello. How are you guys tonight? Happy Friday. It is Fitness Fridays, and here tonight we have with us on the TLC Unleashed show, Mr. Dewan Woods. Welcome to the show, Dewan.
Hello, Tracy. How are you?
Fantastic. We're excited to have you here. I know that all your fans out there are excited to hear your story tonight, as I am as well.
Awesome, awesome. Glad to be here. Glad to have an opportunity to, speak to everyone.
Excellent. Well, if you guys don't know, Dewan Woods is an ex-NFL player. He played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he also played for the New Orleans Saints. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
2 years with the Jaguars. Finished up with the New Orleans Saints.
Yes, and a Super Bowl champion.
Yes, Super Bowl champions 2009.
Nice. Not a lot of people can say that, so congratulations to you.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. It was a great experience for what it was.
Yeah.
But there's a story behind that, but we'll get to that.
We are. So, you guys, what I wanted to share and convey to you tonight is this is a remarkable story about turning your life around in such a profound way. So, Dewan had a severe injury while playing football. And we're going to talk about that tonight because I want Dewan, he's never shared the story with me. So this is my first time hearing it as well as you guys. So he's going to share with us what happened on the field that day when he had a severe neck injury and it basically caused you to retire.
Most definitely. The date was April 15th, 2009. Remember it like it was yesterday. Playing with the New Orleans Saints. It was a preseason game, which was, a lot of times that's when you have to show up. You're trying to make a 53-man roster. You're trying to make the team. I just got traded over from Jacksonville, and I was going through training camp with hopes of making the team just like I made the last one. We were playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. This was towards the end of the game. They put me in on kickoff team. Normally I was a L5 or R5, which was the wedge buster if we were a corner kick team. They moved me out to L2 based on scheme. Now, I had two jobs. If they kicked the ball to my side, I had contain. If they kicked the ball away from me, I get to force the play from the backside. So, routine for me. I've done this, hundreds of times. Ball was kicked away, so now I'm the enforcer. Have an opportunity to run down. I beat my first guy. No problems. Got past the second level, met the returner on the 5-yard line, hit him right in the mouth. Boom. And next thing I know, one of my teammates is calling my name. And I'm laid on the floor. Lost track of what happened, but all I could hear was his voice. Dewan. Sounded like it was like miles away. Someone yelling my name. Dewan, Dewan, Dewan. Then all of a sudden he was Dewan. And he was right in my face. And that's when I realized I had been knocked out and I had just came to. So at that point, I really didn't think nothing of it. I've had, stingers and I've had concussions and things like that. So I thought it was routine. When I raised up to run off the field, I went to take a few steps. Well, I lost my motor functions. So at that time, I went to go take steps and I face planted again. Training staff had to help me, pretty much drag me off the field. Get me to the sideline. They're doing their assessments, concussion tests, making sure, everything was working on all cylinders. I remember not being able to feel anything on my left side. Couldn't really feel my left arm. Couldn't feel down the left side of my leg. And, that kind of stuck with me for a while. Carted me off into the locker room. We immediately went in for x-rays, went in for MRIs. They let me know about my C5 and 6 herniation. Later on, found out about dysesthesia, which is nerve damage. Lost feeling in my left 3 fingers and my left 3 toes. Which, they're fingers and toes. But when you wake up one morning and you can't feel them anymore, it makes a big difference. Then you really take it for granted. And, not knowing the road ahead of me, I've been injured before, hamstrings, broken collarbone, fingers, pulled and torn muscles. This was something that was new to me. I have always thought that it would be something like a knee. That's most common for skill position players were to hurt a knee or something like that. Mine was a spinal cord, which was new to me, but at the same time, I had to adjust and had to make the necessary corrections in order to keep moving forward with my life. That ended my career at that point. I was told there was no true rehab for a spinal cord injury. You needed surgery. At the time, back in 2009, spinal surgery wasn't a common thing. The percentages in which that it would actually help me wasn't great enough for me to get under the knife at that time. I talked to 4 specialists. They let me know I was finished, and I would have saw 100 specialists if one of them would have told me I could play. So at that time, I realized that it was over with, and I had an adjustment to make. I knew that the rest of my life was now had to be in consideration. Once you devote years and years into a specific sport or to training your body to do a certain thing, and you no longer have to do that, the work and the mindset and everything that goes along with that does not go with your career. You keep that same mindset, you keep those same habits, you keep those same that same thought process.
Yeah.
And luckily, I was able to transfer my experiences with playing football, being surrounded around great coaching staffs, great strength and conditioning coaches, and use the same mentality that was instilled in me to push forward in my fitness career.
And the thing is, too, though, I mean, that's such a remarkable story. I mean, when I read this, it blew me away because I know what it's like to be, at the top of your game, and you're an athlete and playing sports and things like that, and playing soccer back home in Canada, and coming from an injury, but an injury like that, because it's more mental. So, when you have a doctor and you have coaches and people telling you, this is it, you're done, your career's over, you're not going to do this anymore. How did you mentally, challenge yourself and say, hey, you know what? I'm not accepting that. I'm actually going to push through this, and I'm doing this.
Well, at first, it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
At first, it was the dumps. It was the depression.
Yeah.
It was the stress and the worry of, what now? What am I worth when, who are you when you're known to be the guy, the football guy? Who are you after that when you're known to be that athlete? Yeah. And, trying to figure out where you fit in society after your place has now been changed. Yes. You have to define yourself. Yeah. You have to hone it all in, make sure you have a great supporting staff, make sure you have faith. Yeah. And it really pulls you close. It really pulled me in closer to God, and as far as my faith, because at this point, I had to smell the roses. Yeah. At this point, I had to smell the roses. So, knowing that I have to now progress, it was a lot difficult for me because I knew absolutely nothing as far as what I was going to do moving forward. And not being in the same type of shape or not having the same physical capabilities that I had, I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to move forward. Yeah.
You got up to 265 pounds or 263, I read at one point. And I saw pictures of you. I mean, when you're an athlete, too, that's a significant amount of weight to put on to the body, especially when you're used to being at a certain weight and a certain lean muscle mass. So, I saw pictures of that, and I know what that's like. I've been through extreme injuries with my shoulders and my back, and gained 38 pounds myself, and that's a lot of weight on my frame, so I can totally, see how that would be debilitating in your mind as well as your body.
Most definitely. It happened fast.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much my active lifestyle, contributed to my health. Yeah. Now, I was just playing football. So I did the necessary things in order to be good at playing football. You didn't have to bribe me or pay me to wake up and go run at 6 a.m. every morning. Yeah. That's just what I did. Yeah. That was part of it. So once I stopped doing those type of things, well, you got to understand, I still ate what I wanted to eat. I still enjoyed myself. I was in Kenner, Louisiana, and it's a bunch of amazing food out there. Down in the French Quarter, they can really cook
Who are you
and
to blame, right?
really do it. So it didn't take me long to get up to 263.
Yeah.
It the turning point when I decided that I was going to take back my life was probably about 2 years after
Okay.
the injury.
Okay.
I was just fed up. I was having complication. I was developing sleep apnea where I couldn't sleep. I was having panic attacks. I was losing
Yeah.
my hair. I had
Wow.
stress-induced alopecia, and I lost a bald spot in my head about the size of a silver dollar.
Yeah.
And that's not attractive.
No.
So, I really, went to the doctors, figured out what it is I need to do to gain my
Yeah.
life back, and then I just got fed up. I got tired. I
Yeah.
got tired of dealing with the situations that I was dealing with,
Yeah.
and I'm full of fight.
Yeah, you are. Of
So,
course.
so
Nobody can get through this unless you're full of fight. I mean, this is like sharing this story with the world is so incredible because people don't get through stuff like this. Not everybody can get through this. And we're here to show you that yes, you can. And I want to know what exactly was the turning point? What was running through your mind where that day you're like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of this, and I'm going to make a change. I'm going to get up and I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to change my eating habits. Whatever you did, what were the steps and how did you, was it just, talking to yourself and saying, this is it, today's the day?
well, at first it was. I remember going to sleep. I'm back at my mom's and dad's. I moved back in with my parents. I'm back in my old room, and I went to sleep normal night, and I had a panic attack in the middle of the night, during my sleep. When I popped up, I opened my eyes, and I was almost in a frozen state. I mean, the panic attack was so severe, it felt like I was trying to get up out of bed and I was being forced down by something.
Wow.
Okay. And at that point, I was 27 years old, I believe. I woke my mom out of bed at 3 a.m. and she came in the living room. She sat down on the couch with me and watched me sleep till I can go back to sleep. That next morning, I knew, hey, look. I went to the doctor, went and checked me out. They said, hey, you're having panic attacks. You got sleep apnea. You need to get up and exercise or do something.
Yeah.
At that time, I was feeling sorry for myself, and understanding that, I come from an athletic family. I had two brothers go to the NFL. Younger brother won a Super Bowl as well. My older brother was a first-round draft pick, and it just was unacceptable in my eyes to give up and fall flat. I'm a Woods.
Yeah.
So, my dad used to always stress, hey, boy, you're a Woods. Get up, dust your britches off, and let's get after it. So
Yeah.
I started in the CrossFit after that.
Cool.
And the reason why I started in the CrossFit was because it allowed me to reach that same intensity level, and it was familiar because a lot of the football training
Yeah.
is similar to CrossFit in a way.
Yeah.
And except when you're talking about developing tangibles like speed, overall explosiveness and power. The Olympic lifts involved in CrossFit were a lot of the things that we did throughout summer training to get ready for a football game. During the programs that, at the programs that I was at Oklahoma State University, at Jacksonville Jaguars, also for the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
Great strength and conditioning staff throughout, all three programs. A lot of my methodology, I take specifically from that. There were old school guys who really cared about the players, and I like to instill that same mindset into my clients. And that same mindset is what allowed me to push through and fight through this adversity that I'm having and understand that, hey, look, none of us going to make it out of here alive anyway.
Yeah.
So let's have a damn good time while we're here.
That's a great attitude. I really would like to know, how was the NFL through all of this? How did they treat you? How did they respond to your injury? And were they supportive?
Well,
You laugh. So I'm really curious on the answer to this because, I mean, just be honest as you can.
after my injury, and I found out the terrible news. I went to the team physician and saw their specialist. Then I went to 3 more other specialists on my own because at this point in time, I understand that it's a business. Okay. And there's such things as collateral damage. Okay. And everyone is not going to be a part of, what the organization wants moving forward. And hey, they what have you done for me lately? There's no use for a spinal cord injury guy. First year, coming in, they wanted to get me out. So first thing that happened was they put me on a rehab plan that they wanted me to do surgery first, but then put me on a rehab plan, which there was no rehab for my spinal cord injury, for the injury itself. Moving forward, I learned that because of the injury, C5 and 6, it controls my diaphragm, and I have a lot of muscular imbalances due to the nerve damage that I suffered through the left side. So contracted my rhomboids and delts. There are issues when I inhale, my diaphragm sometimes won't expand prior to my lungs expanding, and so my lungs will hit my chest plate, and I can feel it. Having spasming and cramping due to the muscle imbalances also caused a huge issue. So they put me through the rehab program. A lot of band work, water massage. There's nothing like getting in the pool and letting the jacuzzi jets just hit on your skin for 45 minutes and doing some band retractions and hydrocodone and Vicodin and Roxy and pain pills. So I'm addicted to pain pills. I wouldn't say addicted, but I heavily used them for 3 to 4 years after, because at that time, the pain was, it was a lot.
I bet.
So, and if you want an idea of what kind of pain it was, the best I can describe it is having a chipped tooth, having a nerve exposed, and having some cold water or cold air hit it. But that's
Ouch.
now shooting down your back and down your left side, my left side.
Yeah.
It was funny. I used to hold my arm in a sling throughout the duration of the season. I was placed on injury reserve for with the New Orleans Saints, and I came in twice a day for that quote unquote treatment, and every Wednesday to get my re-up of medication, my pain pills. So, I did that for the duration of the year.
And do they, I have to ask, do they compensate you financially?
Well, I was placed on injury reserve, which it's not the full extent of the contract that I was under, but it was a prorated kind of downsized contract to be placed on injury reserve. Okay. So basically it's, if you're unable to play, they can place you on injury reserve. Your paycheck is cut, but then they'll take care of your rehab and everything else to try and rehab you back. Well, the problem is with my spinal cord injury, there was only surgery, which I wasn't getting under surgery because I was advised not to do surgery until it's absolutely necessary, because during the time, it was not a common surgery that people were having. It wasn't until Peyton Manning had his C5 spinal cord injury where people really started to look into it. And I remember getting emails from case studies when they're flying players out to North Carolina to run case studies on spinal cord injuries and stuff like that. That was around the time Peyton Manning had his. So, showed up twice a day for treatment. At that time, I understood that my career was done. It doesn't take many specialists. Once one guy who's considered himself a specialist, okay, you question him. I'm going to go to somebody else. But once you start getting around 4 or 5 and all their stories about the same, you got to smell the roses. You got to smell the roses. You got to explore it. And, I took that and kind of just moved forward. As soon as we actually went to the Super Bowl that year, and the team chose not to take me. Okay. Wow. Now, there were other players on injury reserve.
And they went?
They went. I understand that my injury was career ending. I knew this. So being in Louisiana, when I'm originally from Oklahoma, I'm in a place that now I'm injured. I do not want to be here. And I'm doing treatment that is not actually helping my injury. Why am I here? There were other players who had been there more years than me who were doing rehab in their hometown with their family. I requested for me to go home with my family. My request was denied. They made me show up twice a day for this treatment, for water massage and and I saw the team's
Wow.
position every Wednesday for the duration of the season. And then when we beat the Minnesota Vikings in the championship game, and we were going to the Super Bowl, they called me into Thomas Benson's office, who was the owner of the New Orleans Saints, and they pretty much told me that they're not taking me. Sean Payton told me that they're not taking me to the Super Bowl. They're going to buy me a ticket to fly home. And I asked why. He said it's owner's discretion. Okay, so he can just say, no, we're not going to take you. We won the Super Bowl. I didn't get a ring. The secretary got a ring. I get it. She was there. Other injury reserve players got rings. I get it. I wasn't a part of they can say I wasn't a part of the team due to my injury, but I feel like that's understandable. I sacrificed my body. I put it on the
Yeah.
line for the sake of the team, and it did not work out in my favor. At least you can do is give me a Super Bowl ring if I'm a part of the team. I was released
Absolutely.
February 10th, 2010. And you can Google all of this and find out when I
Yeah.
was released and everything. So I was on the actual team when we won the Super Bowl, but owner's discretion, I don't get a ring. At that point, you know, I didn't really care about the value of the ring. It could have
Yeah.
been copper and cubic zirconia.
Yeah.
I just wanted it so where I'm, 50, 60 years old, have some little young
Yeah.
whippersnappers of my own. I could say, hey, man, your daddy was all right back in his day.
Aw.
And that's what it was all about for me. So
Yeah.
to be denied that, it really left a bad taste in my mouth. And I understand that every club is different, every organization is different, but
Yeah.
I really felt like I was done wrong in that sense, considering I had just injured myself and will have to deal with these injuries
Yeah.
my entire life. So,
Yeah,
it's just one of those
that's
things.
well, the way you speak of it, that was going to be my question. How do you feel the NFL handled it? How do you feel the NFL handled your injury in itself?
Well, they see injuries all the time,
Yeah,
so they'll next year we're going to have a whole new class of
of course.
rookies coming in
Yeah,
the next year. So what if a second year guy's hurt? The
yeah,
average NFL career is 3 years.
yeah,
Okay, that's not counting how the scale is off because you have guys like Brent Favre who played like 15, 16 years.
of course.
Well, obviously, when you have guys like that, the overall the average is going to go up.
Yeah,
So guys are not making that. I know a guy who was on the same team that I was on, had a 3rd-degree separated shoulder. He signed a 6-year, a 6-month, 6-week. They made you sign these agreements
yeah,
that kind of said, oh, okay, well, our doctor says you'll be good in around 6 to 8 weeks. Do you agree with them? And you sign this paper. Well, this guy had a 3rd-degree separated shoulder. It was hanging down. His arm was hanging down. And in 6 weeks, they just released him.
unbelievable.
I chose not to sign the paper because I understood what was going on. And
Yeah.
I knew that, hey, let's free up some salary cap space. We can bring another player in who can play.
Yeah,
If you can't play Woods, we'll bring somebody else in who can play. I understood.
yeah,
But looking out for me, I wasn't going to sign the papers. And that's fine. I'm willing to take whatever. If they didn't want to
Yeah.
give me a ring because of that, because I decided to stay around, because I decided to look out for my best interest and understand that, hey, I'm going to need more medical. I'm going to need more x-rays. I'm going to need more treatment.
Yeah.
All of these things that were offered by teams and facilities, now I have to come out of pocket to get the same type of treatment that I was getting back when I was with them. But when you're done with the NFL, they give you a 5-year grace period that they continue your insurance and stuff like that, and then you're on your own. You have to then rely on the NFLPA, the Players Association. They do an amazing job of taking care of us
Yeah.
and making sure that we're not left out in the cold. But I'm just one case.
Wow, you must have been so frustrated without getting that Super Bowl ring, especially because, your reasoning behind it. And I can appreciate that and respect that so much because, it is about carrying that legacy on into your family and, and showing your parents and things like that. I'm sure, knowing how strong of a faith and how great and solid your family sounds, I'm sure no matter Super Bowl ring or not, they're completely proud of you. And if we could do anything to change that, I think we need to get Dewan a Super Bowl ring. What do you
Oh
guys
man.
think?
Oh man.
That's BS. I'm like, if we need to write letters or whatever, but good for you to walk away with grace and dignity, and not make, a fuss and things like that, because that's wrong. It's really wrong. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, because it's really, it's pretty pathetic to think about it. You sacrifice your body, you sacrifice your life. I mean, all the stuff going on with CTE and dementia and the concussion cases. I mean, I don't know if everybody's aware of what it's like, but I've seen it firsthand in friends and people close to me that go through it. And it is in the ALS and the football players passing away from ALS now. And I mean, the suicide, there was 4 of them, juniors, all these guys were phenomenal players, and they committed suicide because they had CTE. They had all their brains scanned, and all of them showed CTE. And we should be letting the public know about stuff like this. And you also suffered concussions as well.
Almost definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, as an organization, why would you let people know about the danger
Yeah.
behind? It's the NFLPA and guys like that are fighting for us. If the players that you're recruiting
Yeah.
are, keeping the lights on for a lot of these owners and a lot of these cities, then
Yeah.
you don't want those things to get out.
Yeah.
You
course.
know, once these players, once these players finish up their careers and they move on, you won't catch about them. You won't hear about them in the media unless they're going to jail. They've got stopped from a DUI or drug possession or something like that. And then they'll pop up on ESPN.
Of course.
It'll be some crazy stuff on.
Yeah.
But as far as taking care of the guys and understanding the long-term effect, well, we just going to bring in some fresh bodies.
Yeah.
We just going to bring in some young cats to come on in, got fresh legs,
Yeah.
and we're going to keep this train moving. And I love the game of football,
Yeah.
okay? If you would have told me that same day, let's say Jesus would have opened up the skies and said, Woods, you got 50% chance that you're going to end your career on this play. I'm still going to make that tackle.
Yeah.
Because that's my job. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And when we have those instances of those players that move on, what do you tell a bird to do when it can no longer fly?
Exactly.
So you got guys like Junior Seau and stuff
Yeah.
who have these issues, and they're taught to be aggressive.
Yeah.
They're taught to attack. They're taught to overcome and be gladiators.
Yeah.
And then you want to immerse them in society and say,
Yeah.
hey, get along with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
She's not going to listen to you. She's going to force you. She's going to cuss at you. She's going to do all this kind of stuff. Keep your temper.
Yeah.
When the guy across the way from you on Sunday say something crazy to you, when the whistle blow between the whistle, you have full authority and every right to run through him. But you want to sit across the way from your wife telling you you ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey.
Exactly. And that's the whole point here. I have some incredible friends that, played pro football, and, we're in support of the NFL alumni. And, there's a lot of great guys out there, Andre Reed, Pete Shaw, Anthony Miller, and Eric Dickerson and all these guys, and Ron Brown. And I hear these stories from all of them, and we see, they're super humble, and they have a lot of class and style and stuff like that. So they're not, saying anything, but, it's times like this that we can speak up and try to help people, because dementia's real, CTE is real, all these things are real. And, if people are committing suicide and not saying what the reasons are, they're keeping secrets. And when we have secrets, that's not a good thing in life. And so, we wanted to get you on here today to kind of talk about these things and talk about your journey. And, it was remarkable what you've been through and to see where you're at today. So, there's some studies out there too. We're going to talk with Craig McEwen. He might do a special appearance here tonight. So I hope he can show up here and all the way from San Diego. If not, he's going to be doing a Super Bowl party next Sunday in La Jolla. So you guys got to come down there. We've got a lot of charity events coming up for ALS coming up in the new year in March. So definitely we want you guys to be part of that as well. So we're raising awareness, raising money for families and people left behind, people that have been directly affected by concussion. So I just want to say that I'm sending out the love to all of you guys and your families and your children and everybody who suffered from this, because it is serious and it is real. So I want you guys to educate yourself on it so that you can help bring awareness and help save some lives and be there for support. So, you are just a remarkable man. So, I know what you're doing now. I met this guy. He stood out to me at the LA Fit Expo. And it's funny because, it takes a lot to get my attention, but he was sprinting, doing all these things. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to wait and I'm going to go over and talk to him. And I knew that you were somebody special. I knew that I needed to talk to you. Something in the universe just brought me your way. And I'm really glad that it did, So what are you doing now? Tell me about your life right now.
Well, right now I'm a personal trainer, fitness enthusiast. I'm a coach.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't even consider myself a personal trainer because I don't care what your goals are. I want to coach your mentality. I want to coach your mindset. Because if I can overcome what I've overcame,
Yeah.
then I feel I can coach someone through the mental barriers and, to help them see the bright side of things.
Yeah.
Me being a firm believer in everything that I've done up to this date and playing football and doing all and I've won championships at every level, high school, college, and if I can get that ring, the pros. But if I can help someone who needs to get that 15 pounds off, not only just athletes who want to become stronger, faster, more explosive, that's what I absolutely love to do. But the mental barriers of getting someone to lose 15 or getting a small guy to gain muscle, just to get them to believe and to take that turn mentally, that's where I find the small victories. That's what keeps me pushing. Fortunately, with my spinal cord injury, it was a contact issue. I can't take contact. Any car accident, I don't really get on roller coasters because of the whiplash and things like that. But my legs work fine. I could still run around. So when you find me on Instagram and you see me doing explosive movements, understand that my legs and stuff still work fine. You won't see me loading up the squat rack.
Yeah. Good.
You won't see me underneath the leg press trying to move 1,000 pounds. That's not my wheelhouse. I understand my limits. Okay. And what I've done is once I found my limits, okay, I then looked at my weaknesses or what I can improve on, knowing that I already have a ceiling.
Yeah.
But I want to bring all of my tangibles up to that ceiling point if I can. And if it's me being explosive, I want to be as explosive as I possibly can. If it's me being flexible, I want to be as flexible as I possibly can. And I just want to be better every single day because there's someone out there with an injury or a disease or something that's mentally holding them back from being the best possible them between the ears.
Yes,
and that's where it all starts. And if I can inspire someone or if I can get someone to change their mindset or their approach on their life and on health in general, then I feel like I've accomplished what I'm on this earth to accomplish. It's not about me. It's never about me. It's all about how many people can I influence? How many people can I actually reach out, whether it's through social media or any platform or anyone out there listening now? Can I reach into your home, into your life, and can I touch you in a place, pause, that will allow you to be a better version of you.
Yeah.
Because I had to become a better version of myself when I thought I was the best version of myself as an NFL football player. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
But to be able to find joy in other people more than I found joy in playing the game myself. That's what it's all about. That's why I do what I do. So I'm a coach.
Yeah.
So I do everything from weight loss to muscle gain to athletic development. And I push for that and get people to get over the hump, to turn the corner. And if I can get them to turn the corner mentally, then the body will catch up.
Yeah, I know. That's what I do, the same thing for a living. And it is the most, I don't even use the word job because it's not a job. It's the most rewarding adventure for me in my life because I love helping people get over obstacles. And, and the life coach, is such a cliche word, but I like to say life success coach because we're coaching people in all areas of their life so that they can be successful. So what are some of the things that you would say to some of your clients that had that mental blockage that we're talking about? So they're saying, you know what, I can't. I'm going to try. Because we hear that all the time. We hear it every single day. What are the words that you say to motivate them?
Well, I'm a football guy.
Yeah.
So I don't like to coddle my clients at all.
Yeah.
It's pretty black and white in my training program. And I like to stem back from a lot of the things that my coaching staff and the guys that influence me, what they've instilled in me. I tell them, control what you can control.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. That if you understand that moving in, coach used to tell me as a wide receiver, that's the position that I played, you cannot control how many times the quarterback throws you the ball.
Yeah.
But what you can control is if you're open on your route. You can always control the effort that you put into anything. You always can control the effort. Another thing he always told me, and what's instilled that I instill in my clients is that, hey, you're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are.
I like that. Yeah.
So a lot of times people, they outthink themselves, or they think that they think themselves into a box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And breaking out of that box is hard when it's between the ears. So I'm not, I don't necessarily coach people. Yeah, I like to coach them up on form and all of that, but they don't need me for form. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You want to learn good form? Get on YouTube. Type in good form.
Yeah.
You'll get it. I'm coaching between the ears.
Yeah.
And the people who are drawn to me are the ones who I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of this 15 pounds. I'm sick and tired of looking at the mirror and not being happy with the way I look. I'm sick and tired of having to keep my cover up on at the pool. Well, I'm sick and tired of your excuses.
Yeah.
When are we going to get this weight off?
Yeah.
That's my approach to it.
Good for you.
And then you have to follow the decisions that you make with unbelievable work ethic. You have to follow that mentality. Once it switches, you then have to follow through. But first, you have to make a commitment. Yeah. Then you have to show up. Because if you don't show up, you can't put yourself in the game. If you're not there, you can't put yourself in the game to be successful. Yeah. Okay. So you make a commitment. You commit mentally between the ears. You show up. Okay. You follow through. Yeah. Now you've shown up. Now you do everything that you need to do in order to push yourself forward towards your goals. It's the follow through, regardless of what it is. If you need to get on the treadmill every single day, that's just the follow through. Yeah. That's right. And then, after that, you have to make up your mind that is what you're doing even worth it. If you can't find joy or find your passion into what you're doing, if you don't wake up every morning and just be in love with the process. Yeah. If you don't wake up in the morning, love going to the gym, love going to work, you should quit your job. Yeah. What you doing there for? Exactly. Go do something you like to do. Yeah. If you're doing it for money, there's a lot of things you can do for money. But you got to figure out what it is that fuels you, what it is that drives you to be the best version of you, and what forces you to be better because the bar keeps raising. Yeah. Once you find that, then that's your wheelhouse. You need to stay in there and keep working it.
That's good. Great advice. So I want to know, what would be some of your words of advice to some of the up-and-coming NFL guys coming in? So, these guys are still looking up to you because you're still an example, you'll always carry that on for a lifetime. I mean, Google his name, Dewan Woods. I mean, your stories all over the internet. And these guys, there's people that are going to look up to you to get through stuff like this. So, what would you say to those young guys looking up to you?
Well, I would tell them that everything that you want in your life can be attained.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to commit yourself, and are you willing to die for it?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, it's going to take you to go in. It's going to take you to work hard. If it's football, it's going to take you to put in the time. It's going to take you to challenge yourself and try to raise that bar every single time you step foot on the field.
Yeah.
I would tell them, always be the hardest worker in the room.
Great advice.
Okay?
Great advice.
Always be the hardest worker in the room.
Yep.
And never, ever, ever justify your effort. That's it.
Nice. You hear that, guys?
There's no excuse for not working hard.
Yeah. So, personal question for you. If, say, hypothetically speaking, you've got some young boys that you have in the future, would you let them play football?
Most definitely.
Nice.
Suit them up. Let's
Okay.
go. I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to score
Okay.
as many touchdowns as you need to. I'm going to teach you how to tackle properly to
Yep.
avoid injury. Don't get me wrong. I love the game of football.
Of
If I had to
course.
do it again, I would do it without a doubt.
Okay.
The reason behind that is I am what I am now because of the game of football, and
course.
because I played that.
Yep.
The same mentality that I had when I played is the same mentality that's providing me with success in the real world. I just had to stop blaming football and
Yeah.
understand that it's the reason. It's the reason why I made it to where I was at. It's the reason why
That's right.
I think the way I think about certain things now. When I'm faced with adversity
Yeah.
in my life now, I mean, man, I can look back at a time that I was faced adversity on the field and I overcame it. You know, and being mentally tough is what got me through on the field, and it's what's getting me through in the duration of my life now.
Absolutely. Good for you.
So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's a two-headed sword.
Yeah.
You know, in a sense,
It is.
You know, a lot of players get out with no injuries. Okay,
Yeah.
it's part of it. You're gonna
Yeah.
get nicks and bruises. You know, you're gonna break some bones. You know, you're gonna pull and tear some muscles. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
part of the game. But we can't take this body with us.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
get as many miles out of it as we can. And
Enjoy
let's
the
get ready
ride.
and get ready for a new one.
What do you think about parents that don't put their kids in sports?
Well, I mean, either they didn't play,
Yeah.
okay, or I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, no,
I
because
honestly don't know what to think about that.
I am the same way. I mean, everyone has their reasons why. Maybe they're protecting their child. Maybe they didn't play, like they don't have that, competitive nature or edge in them. Or maybe they weren't raised that way. Maybe their religion, whatever it may be. But, for me, I just look at it because, I mean, you understand being an athlete and also applying that science into your clients now, being a coach and being a motivator, and in yours, obviously, to be as fit as you are, you have to stay on top of your game as well every single day, whether it's nutrition, exercise, resting, everything. So, I guess it just kind of apple falls downhill. You are who you are. So if you're teaching your kids, but I really think it's very valuable and important to get your kids into some kind of activities or sports. And being, such a motivator and inspirational person, I was curious on what you'd think of that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a saying: you find out who you are between the whistles.
Yeah.
That's when you find out what you're really made out of. So in every game time situation, I played all sports: baseball, basketball.
Yeah.
I ran track, played football,
Okay.
played golf.
Yeah.
Okay, I played some tennis. I don't swim, but I bowl too. You
Okay.
find out what you're made out of between the whistles.
Yeah.
When the whistle blow and it's just you and your opponent on the field, you have a decision to make. You're either going to rise to the occasion or you're going to
Yeah.
fold. Those are the only options that you have. Or you can quit and walk off the field and don't be a part of it anyway. But quitting is just as bad as punking out.
Yeah, absolutely. What other forms of rehabilitation do you do? Do you do any cryotherapy? Do you do massage? I mean, what are some of the techniques that you like? Do you like acupuncture? Anything
Man,
for pain management and just to kind of a holistic approach to it? I know there's so many things out there. I actually ventured into the cryo tank and it was awesome. It was so much fun. I mean, it was great because I came from my workout. My body was at 95 degrees, and he's like, "Well, you're pretty lean, so we're going to throw you in there for about 3 minutes." And I was like, "I think I'm going to die in here because I've only been in for a minute before." So I was in there for 3 minutes, dropped my core body temperature down to 66, and it felt amazing. I was rejuvenated. I felt incredible. I mean, I was still a little bit sore because I had trained. I overtrained a little bit that day. I'm not going to lie because we were trying out some new exercise moves, but it's phenomenal. I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the best things out there right now, especially for pain management and just just for healing and recovery time.
almost definitely. I partake in a lot of different holistic,
Okay.
rehabilitation. I guess adventures from
Yeah.
Reiki to
Okay.
myofascial release,
Oh, that was painful.
Ralphing.
Yeah, that's big in Canada. Actually, I had that done. That is painful. How do you describe that to people? Because I can't describe it without actually wincing in tears because it's so painful. But it's the best treatment out there.
Almost definitely. You have muscle
Yeah.
imbalances.
Yeah.
When you maybe it's the way you're sitting down at work or the way you sleep, where muscles are turn off. Muscle groups are turn off.
Yeah.
And they'll get spasmed, or you'll get these knots,
Yeah.
and you have to rub them out.
Yeah.
Get active release there. I get active release therapy a
Yeah.
lot. I do some cupping.
Yeah.
Grasping is probably one of
Okay.
my favorite because it's a more
Tell us about that.
well, grasping, they use these metal tools. Um, I don't.
The
I can't
scraping?
yeah, and they scrape,
Oh yeah.
and they scrape
Oh.
those muscle fibers from the surface down. And
Okay.
when you're talking about getting those big time knots out,
Yeah.
my go-to is grasping.
Okay.
I've done cryotherapy,
Yeah.
but I'm old school. I like to
Yeah.
just get me in the cold tub. Let's dump a cup, 5 or 6 bags of ice in the tub,
You're hardcore.
and let's get in there. Well, see, we didn't have that. We didn't have cryotherapy
Yeah.
back in
Yeah. Well, you guys are.
the 99 and
You're
the
the
2000.
pro athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a little time compared to that. I don't know if I'd jump in an ice tank, but I'd do it if I was dared. And you paid me money. But other than that, I don't know.
Dare you?
Yeah, right. How much are you gonna pay me, Lee?
Oh, Tracy, all it'll take you is
Yeah.
3 2-a-day practices in a row. You'll be
Yeah.
begging for the cold tub.
I bet. Especially when you know the benefits of it, how
For
great you
sure,
feel
for
after.
sure.
What about stem cell therapy? I mean, this is big. This is coming out and a lot of people are talking about this now, and we're going to be talking about it on the next show. But stem cell therapy, something you'd ever try?
Well, I would try it, as I get a little bit older.
Okay.
I'm not,
He's too young. That's what he's saying.
well, not even that. It's just that right now, I don't put no needle in me, moving any cells or doing anything like that around in my
Okay.
body. I don't like, stem cells. I don't understand it 100%.
Okay.
So until I fully
Yeah.
have an understanding of the process and what's actually going on, then I can't necessarily subject myself to it
Okay.
because I haven't educated myself on it.
That's a great
Everything that
answer.
I've done, I educate myself on it first before I partake.
Yeah.
And stem cell, I'm sure insurances aren't picking up stem cell procedures, so you probably coming out of pocket. So I don't think that'll be something that I'll get into,
Yeah.
anytime soon. I know it's big around the NBA and the NFL right now.
Yeah.
But a lot of people got to understand that, hey, they're picking up the check for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So until I get by
insurance.
yeah, for sure.
For sure. So, I mean, having said that, you've come out of this traumatic injury and I mean, you're at the top of your game again. Just, it's from one vehicle to the next. Basically, football was a vehicle to get you to this success in your life right now. So, are there any times where you're doing movements or you're training, your style of training is intense? I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, you just energize me. I was watching your Snapchats the other day and your Instagram and stuff. I mean, good for you. It's really great because there's a lot of good power movements and it's just fun to watch and it looks great. I would actually love to do a workout video with you if you'd be interested.
Oh, most
So,
definitely, most
okay,
definitely.
good. So you guys are going to see that because I think we have a lot of great similar ideas and training styles.
Oh, for sure. My workout, with myself personally,
Yeah.
is built a lot around prehabilitation exercises
Yeah.
and rehabilitation exercises.
Yes.
Because of my spinal cord injury, I have to stay on top
Mm-hmm.
of my muscle imbalances and my deficiencies in my body. If
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not able to do what a normal person can do.
For sure.
So the first 30 minutes of my workout might be muscle activation
Yeah. Yeah.
before I even go into doing anything, especially when it involves my back
Yeah.
or my hips or something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
need to activate. I have a training, my training methodology is SAW.
Okay. Yep.
Stabilize, activate, and work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I go about training my clients. That's how I go about training myself. I
Yeah.
stabilize my muscle groups first.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't have stability, then I can injure myself.
Yes.
Okay. And then I activate. I stabilize the muscles first, whatever muscle group it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I activate it.
Yep.
Okay. Make sure it's working on all cylinders. Make sure I don't have any muscle imbalances or any kinks, what I
Yes.
call it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everything's moving fluidly. And then I work it.
Okay,
I go
good.
after it.
Oh, yeah,
And
you do.
yeah, so once I kind of hone my body in
Mm-hmm.
and I can get it to somewhat, feeling normal,
Mm-hmm.
then I take the levy off and I really go at it as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you always want to build past your top level.
Of course.
So
Always.
every single workout, if you're not burning out, if you're lifting weights, if you want to grow, if you're looking to grow muscles, well, you can't just do 3 sets of 10. 3 sets of 10
Mm-hmm.
is not going to get it done.
Yeah.
It's those last 3 reps that you struggle on, which actually breaks down the muscle
Yes.
fibers
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
allows you to actually grow. That's what you take the protein in and it comes in and it repairs everything. You
Mm-hmm.
have to break past that point. A lot of people just work up to the it's getting heavy and they set it down. Well, that's not
Yeah.
necessarily how it's supposed to go. So
Mm-hmm.
once I stabilize, I activate, and then I go after it.
Yeah.
And to the best of my ability, I stay away from my problem areas. Now,
Yeah.
I've been doing this a long time with me, but
Mm-hmm.
even before I started training adults,
Yeah.
I've always coached kids. Kids are a little simpler
Mm-hmm.
because, I'm so much further ahead than them.
Yeah.
I can start with the basics
Yes, of
and
course.
bring a kid up for 4 or 5 years
Mm.
before we actually can progress to the next thing.
Yeah.
But as far as me, I've had so much time in between that. The first thing is getting my body in working order,
Yeah.
and then I try and strengthen it when I can.
Mm-hmm.
Muscles give out. I fatigue a lot of areas
Yeah.
a lot faster due to my spinal cord.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I got a pretty good grasp on when I'm pushing too much
Yeah.
and and when I need to crank it up. Now,
Okay.
I've had a few injuries in
I
my
was gonna
core.
ask that.
Yeah, since.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've had a couple ribs just get knocked out.
Okay.
Um,
Do you get fearful sometimes, like, because you get pretty intense? Do you ever get fearful of re-injuring or?
for what?
Good question.
I'm wide open.
There you go.
When I'm training, my body's warm. I
Mm-hmm.
feel normal.
Yeah.
I feel normal when I work out. When I don't work out, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm out of place.
I get it.
When I'm not getting my training in every
Mm-hmm.
day, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my working out and fitness keeps me sane.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps me well rounded. It's keeping my mind
Yeah.
because it's allowing me to, I'm starting to read more,
Yeah.
but it's because of fitness.
Yeah.
Before then, I really don't find much interest in anything else other than, can I heal myself? Can I,
Mm-hmm.
well, not necessarily heal myself, but can I improve my quality of life
Mm-hmm.
based on my routine and my
Okay.
habits that I do every single morning?
Mm-hmm.
If you're around me, if most people who are around me, they laugh at me, but no matter where we are, I might go find a wall. I might lay down on the ground and do my breathing techniques
Nice.
in order to get my diaphragm back in line. Because if
Mhm.
not, it feels like gravity's winning.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
I train hard so I can fight gravity. Pretty
I
much.
love it. Any advice on nutrition? Nutrition is such a big thing in this whole, in just having balance and things like that. But I know that, as a coach, and I've been doing this for a very long time as well, A lot of people struggle in this area a lot. Do you have advice for, I mean, men, women, kids, anyone? I mean, anything that you can say to help them in this area?
Almost definitely. Stop eating everything.
I love this guy. Yeah, yeah. Back away from the groceries is my comment. I like that
Okay.
one. Stay away from the fridge a little bit.
You know, it's proteins, carbs, fats. Simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's in a box, it's probably not good for you.
Nice. Love
You know,
it.
be sure to check the sodium on everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Be sure to read labels
Yeah.
and understand what a serving is.
Yes.
A serving is 13 Cheetos.
13?
Not a whole bag.
Lee's like, what?
Not a
Just
whole bag.
buzzkill, huh?
You know?
You're like, oh, I'm only supposed to eat one serving?
Also, you know, just be
Mindful.
cautious of what you put in your body, and don't take any wooden nickels. You know, and what I mean by
Yeah.
don't take any wooden nickels is don't believe everything everybody tell you.
Yeah.
If they say it's fat free, they're probably lying.
Yeah.
If they saying diet,
Yeah.
they lying.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Anything with fat-free, diet, sugar-free, anything that has that in front of my food, I don't typically eat.
oh, most definitely.
I mean, on a reward day, maybe something I'll treat myself. But, you know, if you got sugar-free syrup or syrup in front of me, you know, there's going to be a choice that has to be made. And I definitely would go for the natural syrup over the sugar-free just because the chemicals that are in it are, I mean, they're terrifying. The first three ingredients, and most of us won't read the labels. So reading labels is key, and that is definitely critical.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
You know, your body and you know, your brain is the hard drive, the motherboard, or whatever you want to call it, to the computer that is a
Yeah.
body. It can be programmed. So understand that when you cut out all the processed sugars,
Yeah.
you regain your body's natural use of the normal taste buds. Okay.
Yeah.
So cut out processed food for a month
Yes.
and then bite into an orange and see how amazing it tastes.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Try that, you guys. It is unbelievable. I took out dairy. I took out all flours, sugars, everything out of my nutrition plan, and it is just incredible. And your brain starts to work better. You're more cognitive. You sleep better. And everything. The taste buds are just magnetic. I mean, it's just explosive. You know, I really want to thank you so much, Dewan Woods, for coming on the radio show today, TLC Unleashed. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope you guys follow this guy. I mean, he's such an inspiration, such a motivation to all of us. And, you know, I pray for your continued success, and I also just want to commend you on your grace and you know, your dignity and how you handled everything and with the NFL and your injury and coming out on top, because you really have come out on top. And if I have anything to do with it, I'm still going to work on that Super Bowl ring for you. And I hope all my listeners and viewers are going to help me with this, because when I get set on a mission, I'm a Leo woman. I get set on a mission. So it's a soul on fire, ready to go. Watch Dewan Woods. Follow him on social media. Where do we find you on social media?
Woods Fit on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Here in Los Angeles, you can check me out on Saturday mornings and Wednesday nights. Have a boot camp, Ultimate Athlete Boot Camp, where we actually bring me and my partner Michael Myers. You know, we actually bring the athletic mindset to the common man and woman.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to know what it takes to be a NBA, NFL, you know, professional athlete between the ears.
Okay.
We take that same mentality and we instill it into our camp participants. And we
Beautiful.
push them not only to be the best version of themselves, to be faster, stronger,
Okay.
and to build their bodies, you know, to be amazing. I mean, our camp participants have come a long way.
I love it.
Since day one to now. And if you really want to work out that's challenging and that allows you to lose yourself
Come check it out, you guys,
check
for
it out.
sure. Dewan Woods, TLC Unleashed show every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, www.thevoicesradio.com. And you can also check me on Tracy Lynn Cowan and Snapchat TLC Unleashed, Athletics as well, and Tracy Lynn Cowan, Health and Fitness Life Coach, guys, and TLC Unleashed Talk and Radio Show. Until next time, thanks.